Buffett. This is Charlie Munger. I'm the young one. Charlie is always the one that gets the girl. And he has one explanation for that, but I think mine is more accurate. That, as you know, every mother in this country tells her daughter at an early age, if you're choosing between two very old and very rich guys, pick the one that's older. I think my youngest great-grandchild, who would be about 7 months old, is also here today, and if he happens to break out crying a lot, and don't let it bother you, it's just his mother is explaining to him my views on inherited wealth. Mark Donegan, who runs Precision Castparts, is an extraordinary manager. I mean, Charlie and I have seen a lot of managers over the years, and I would almost rank Mark as one of a kind. Mark does not have to come ever to Omaha to put on some show for me in terms of justifying $1 billion acquisition or planned investment. He doesn't have to waste his time on anything that isn't productive. And running a public company, you do waste your time on quite a bit of stuff that isn't productive.
When looking backwards, what would you have done differently in life in your search for happiness?
I'm 85 and I can't imagine anybody any happier than I am. So by accident or whatever, I'm sitting here eating exactly what I like to eat, doing in life exactly what I love to do with people I love. So it really doesn't get any better than that.
I do regret that I didn't wise up as fast as I could have. But there's a blessing in that too. Now that I'm 92, I still have a lot of ignorance left to work on.
Please explain directly why we Berkshire Hathaway shareholders should be proud to own Coke.
I think if you balance out the calories so that you don't become obese, I have not seen evidence that convinces me that I'll make it. It'll be more likely I reach 100 if I suddenly switch to water and broccoli. I am a very, very, very happy guy, and I don't know. I think, and I'm serious about this, I think if you were happy every day, it may be hard to measure, but I think you're going to live longer as well. So there may be a compensating factor.
If Donald Trump becomes the President of the United States, and recognizing your public criticism of him and your public support for Hillary Clinton, what specific risks, regulatory, policy, or otherwise, do you foresee for Berkshire Hathaway's portfolio of businesses?
That won't be the main problem. 20 years from now, there'll be far more output per capita in the United States in real terms than there is now. In 50 years, it'll be far more. And the quality will get better. And no presidential candidate or president is going to end that.
You're famous for making a deal over a day or two with nothing more than a handshake. You pride yourself on the small overhead of doing the diligence mostly yourself. You've done some amazing deals. But does your diligence process also put us at greater risk?
We have not found a due diligence list that gets at what we think are the real risks when we buy a business. And like I said, we certainly made at least a half a dozen mistakes, and probably a lot more if you get into mistakes of omission. But none of those would have been cured by a lot more due diligence. They might have been cured by us being a little smarter.
How many people who in this room who are happily married carefully check their spouse's birth certificate and so on? My guess is that our methods are not so uncommon as they appear.
What elusive, yet obvious to you, truth has allowed you to think ahead of the crowd?
I would say it's important to recognize what you can't do. So we may have tried the department store business and a few things, but we've generally tried to only swing at things in the strike zone, and our particular strike zone. And it really hasn't been much more complicated than that.
Where does your sense of humor come from?
But actually, I think Charlie has a better sense of humor than I have, so I'll let him answer where he got his.
I think if you see the world accurately, it's bound to be humorous because it's ridiculous.